The court of heaven just released a settlement check in your name. Before you scroll, pause for a moment. This message did not arrive by accident. Something has been set in motion that involves you personally, and if you leave now you may miss the clarity you have been waiting for. Stay with me, because this part matters. There is a reason you felt drawn to this title. You may not fully understand it yet, but something within you recognized it. A quiet sense of anticipation. A subtle awareness that this was meant for you. Do not skip. What you are about to hear connects to a season you have already lived through and a door that is quietly opening now. You have carried questions that never fully left your mind. Questions about timing, about fairness, about whether what you endured was seen, recorded, or remembered. You kept moving forward, but part of you wondered if there was ever going to be an answer that made sense of it all. Stay with me. You need to hear this. In the natural world, settlements are released after review, after evidence is examined, after truth is established. Nothing is rushed, nothing is overlooked. And when the decision is finalized, it is not emotional. It is authoritative. It is precise. It is binding. In the same way, there is a higher order where nothing you walked through was ignored, dismissed, or forgotten. This is where the deeper meaning begins. And I want you to stay focused. Do not skip ahead. The timing of this matters. There are moments in life when it feels like you are constantly giving without receiving, sowing without seeing, enduring without resolution. You adjusted. You adapted. You stayed steady even when clarity was missing. But what you did not see was the review taking place beyond your awareness. Every delay had a purpose. Every pause was part of a process that could not be rushed. You were not overlooked. You were being considered. Stay with me. This part matters more than you realize. What is being described here is not sudden luck or random favor. It is alignment. It is restoration. It is the release of what was held back until the timing was right. Some things cannot arrive early without losing their meaning. Some answers only make sense when you are finally ready to carry them. You may have noticed subtle shifts recently. A change in how you see yourself. A quiet confidence returning. A sense that something unresolved is no longer weighing you down the same way. These are not coincidences. They are signals that preparation has already been happening beneath the surface. Do not skip. You are closer to understanding than you think. There are outcomes that do not announce themselves loudly. They arrive with steadiness, with clarity, with a calm sense of rightness. This is one of those moments. What has been released is not about excess or spectacle. It is about balance being restored, about alignment returning to where it was disrupted. You were never meant to carry uncertainty forever. You were never meant to question your worth endlessly. The review is complete. The delay served its purpose. What is being made available now is meant to support your next step, not your past pain. Stay with me. You need this clarity. This is not about numbers or guarantees. It is about acknowledgement. It is about authorization. It is about being cleared to move forward without the weight you once carried. When something is settled at a higher level, it changes how doors respond to you. It changes timing. It changes access. You may notice that decisions feel easier now. That resistance fades where it once blocked you. That conversations shift without effort. These are not external forces working harder. They are internal alignments finally matching what was already decided. Do not skip. This understanding will steady you. There is a calm confidence that comes when you realize you are no longer waiting for approval. You are no longer proving your case. You are no longer stuck in review. You are moving in agreement with what has already been released. This is why rushing would not have helped you. This is why shortcuts never appeared. You were being positioned to receive something you could sustain, not something that would overwhelm you. Stay with me. The next part is important. From this point forward, you may feel less urgency to chase, and more clarity about where to stand. Less pressure to force outcomes and more certainty about timing. This is what alignment feels like. Quiet. Stable. Certain. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not missing anything. What belongs to you is arriving in a way that strengthens you, not distracts you. Let this understanding settle. Do not rush away from it. The release was not dramatic because it did not need to be. It was precise. It was intentional. and it was personal. You are stepping into a phase where things make sense without explanation, where progress happens without resistance, where confidence replaces questioning. Stay with me just a little longer. This moment is not about closure. It is about continuation. It is about moving forward with clarity instead of doubt, with stability instead of strain. What has been settled supports what comes next, and now you are free to walk forward knowing that what needed to be addressed has already been handled. And as you move forward with that knowing, something subtle begins to shift in how you carry yourself, even if you cannot yet put it into words. You may notice that situations which once demanded effort now respond with ease, not because you changed your strategy, but because resistance is no longer assigned to your path. This is how movement begins when alignment has already been established. What you are stepping into does not announce itself loudly. It does not rush you. It meets you with steadiness, as if it has been waiting for the exact version of you that exists right now. Not who you were before the delays, and not who you thought you needed to become, but who you are in this moment, clear-eyed and grounded. There is a reason clarity is arriving before visible results. Understanding always precedes manifestation. Stability always comes before expansion. And what you are sensing now is not the outcome itself, but the confirmation that the environment around you has changed. Doors respond differently when the atmosphere shifts. Stay with me. You may feel a quiet release inside, as if a long-standing internal negotiation has finally ended. You no longer feel the need to justify your pace, your choices, or your pauses. That internal pressure to explain yourself dissolves when permission is no longer required. This is what happens when the process concludes at a level you do not have to manage consciously. Nothing needs to be forced from here. That is important for you to understand. When something is settled beyond your effort, it does not need your anxiety to activate it. It moves forward because it is already authorized. Your role now is not to chase, but to remain aware. There may be moments coming soon where you are tempted to rush ahead, to test whether this shift is real. You do not need to test it. It will reveal itself through consistency, not intensity. Through doors opening naturally, not dramatically. Through timing that feels supportive instead of stressful. Do not skip this. The next phase you are entering values discernment more than speed. You will notice that what once distracted you no longer holds the same pull. Your focus sharpens without effort. Decisions become simpler, not because options disappear, but because clarity filters them. This is how restoration works. It does not overwhelm you with sudden change. It reintroduces balance in a way your nervous system can trust. That trust is essential, because what lies ahead requires presence, not urgency. There are conversations you have not had yet, opportunities you have not seen yet, alignments that have not crossed your awareness yet. They are not late, they are timed. And timing only becomes visible when you are no longer rushing the outcome. You may soon realize that certain delays you once questioned were actually protecting this moment. Had things arrived earlier, they would have met a version of you that was still carrying doubt. Now they meet steadiness. Now they meet readiness. This is not the end of a journey. It is the recalibration point within it. Pay attention to how your inner dialogue changes. Notice how anticipation replaces tension. Notice how confidence feels quieter than expectation. These are signs that you are no longer waiting for something to be decided. You are moving in response to what already has been. There is more unfolding beneath this awareness, and you do not need to see all of it yet. In fact, seeing too much too soon would only distract you. What you need right now is to remain grounded in this shift, to let it stabilize before it expands. You need to hear what comes next. Because what follows this alignment is not a single event, but a sequence. And sequences only reveal themselves step by step. If everything were shown at once, it would remove the precision from your movement. So remain attentive. Remain steady. Allow the path ahead to respond to you rather than the other way around. This is still unfolding, and as it continues to unfold, you may sense a quiet recalibration happening beneath the surface of your everyday life. Not a disruption, not a sudden turn, but a fine adjustment that brings things into sharper alignment. You may not be able to point to a single moment when it happened, yet you can feel the difference in how you respond to what once unsettled you. There is a steadiness forming now, and it is important that you recognize it. This steadiness is not passive. It is active awareness. It allows you to move without second-guessing each step, because the ground beneath you is no longer shifting. You are no longer bracing for impact. You are standing in a place that can hold what is coming. What follows this phase is subtle at first, small confirmations, quiet affirmations that appear in ordinary moments, a conversation that lands differently, an opportunity that aligns without strain, an idea that settles into you with unusual clarity. These are not meant to impress you. They are meant to orient you. Stay with me. You are being trained to notice without grasping, to receive without rushing. This is essential because the next layers of this process require discernment more than desire. What you are stepping into responds to calm certainty, not heightened emotion. You may find yourself less reactive, more observant, less eager to explain yourself, more comfortable allowing things to reveal their own timing. This is not withdrawal. It is confidence refining itself. When you no longer need to convince anyone, your energy becomes focused and precise. There is also something else happening, something you may not have named yet. A quiet separation from patterns that no longer fit. Old narratives lose their hold. Old expectations fade. You are not rejecting them forcefully. They simply lose relevance. That is how real transition occurs. Do not skip this. Because what is ahead is built on this very stillness. Without it, the pace would overwhelm you. With it, you will recognize when to move and when to wait without confusion. Timing becomes intuitive when alignment is internal. You may soon notice that the questions you once asked no longer feel urgent. Not because answers have been fully revealed, but because you trust that they will arrive when needed. Trust replaces urgency. Presence replaces anticipation. This is the posture that sustains long-term progress. There are developments forming beyond your immediate view. They are not stalled. They are sequencing. Each element is being positioned to meet you at the right moment, not all at once. This prevents overload and preserves clarity. Pay attention to what draws your attention now, not what demands it, but what gently invites it. That distinction matters. Invitations signal readiness. Demands signal misalignment. Your awareness of this difference will guide you more accurately than effort ever could. You need to hear what comes next, because the next unfolding will not arrive with pressure. It will arrive with recognition. You will know it when it appears, not because it is loud, but because it fits. It will feel familiar and new at the same time, as if it has been waiting for you to arrive at this exact point. For now, remain grounded in this awareness. Let it stabilize. Let it inform how you listen, how you choose, how you pause. There is no advantage in rushing forward. What is aligning with you is precise, and precision requires presence. This movement is ongoing. The sequence has not finished revealing itself, and what follows depends on how fully you remain here, attentive to what is still unfolding. And as you remain attentive to that unfolding, you may begin to sense a quiet invitation forming beneath the surface of your awareness. It is not demanding action yet. It is asking for recognition. Recognition always comes before responsibility, and responsibility only arrives when you are steady enough to carry it. There is a difference between movement and momentum. Movement can be forced, momentum cannot. What is building now is momentum that does not need pushing. It gathers strength simply because conditions are aligned. You may feel it as a calm pull forward rather than a push from behind. Pay close attention to how your inner pace has changed. You are no longer rushing to arrive somewhere undefined. You are moving with intention, even when the destination is still partially concealed. This is not uncertainty. It is trust forming its own rhythm. Stay with me. You may notice that distractions lose their urgency. Things that once competed loudly for your attention now feel distant, almost irrelevant. This is not detachment from life. It is clarity choosing where to rest. When your focus narrows naturally, it is because something more precise is approaching. There are layers to this process that cannot be explained all at once. Some understanding must be lived before it can be articulated. That is why pieces are revealing themselves gradually. Each insight prepares you for the next without overwhelming you. You are learning to recognize alignment not by excitement but by peace. That distinction will protect you. What truly belongs with you will not require anxiety to sustain it. It will settle into place and remain. Do not skip this, because soon you will encounter moments that test this steadiness. Not through conflict, but through choice. You will be presented with options that look similar on the surface yet feel very different internally. The ability to sense that difference is developing right now. You may already feel a heightened awareness in ordinary interactions. A sensitivity to tone, timing, and intention. This is not overthinking, it is discernment sharpening. Discernment does not analyze endlessly. It recognizes quickly and moves quietly. There is also a quiet strengthening happening beneath your confidence. Not bravado. Not certainty that needs to be declared. A grounded assurance that does not require validation. This kind of strength changes how opportunities respond to you. Notice how you no longer feel compelled to explain your process. Silence feels comfortable now. Waiting feels purposeful. When explanation is no longer needed, it is because clarity has already settled within you. You need to hear what comes next, because what unfolds from this point is influenced by how well you hold this steadiness. Not perfectly, but consistently. There will be moments where impatience tries to return, where old habits attempt to reassert themselves. They will pass more quickly now, because they no longer have authority. You are not being asked to control outcomes. You are being asked to remain present as outcomes align. Presence allows you to respond rather than react. That difference will matter more than you realize. There are connections forming that you have not yet recognized as significant. At first they will appear ordinary, casual, unremarkable. Their importance will only become clear later when timing reveals their role. This is why attentiveness matters now. You may feel a renewed sense of responsibility, not as pressure but as purpose. Purpose does not weigh you down. It orients you. It clarifies what deserves your energy and what does not. This is still preparation, even though it feels like progress. Preparation is not delay. It is positioning. And positioning determines how smoothly what follows can arrive. Allow yourself to notice the subtle confirmations around you. They are not dramatic signs. They are quiet consistencies, repeated themes, familiar insights returning with new depth. These are signals that the sequence is advancing. Do not rush to interpret everything. Some understanding ripens only with time. For now, it is enough to recognize that something is actively rearranging in your favor without requiring your intervention. Your role is not passive. It is receptive. Receptivity is not weakness. It is readiness. And readiness is what allows timing to work with you instead of against you. There is more still forming beyond what you can currently see. It is intentional that you do not see all of it yet. Full visibility would pull you out of the present moment, and the present moment is where alignment remains strongest, so remain here. Remain aware, let each next step reveal itself naturally. This is not complete yet. The unfolding continues, and what comes after this depends on how fully you remain present to what is still quietly taking shape. And as it takes shape, you may begin to sense a gentle narrowing of your path, not as limitation, but as refinement. Fewer distractions hold weight now. Fewer voices carry influence. This narrowing is not loss. It is focus aligning with purpose. You might notice that your attention is being drawn to details you once overlooked, timing in conversations, the order in which things appear, the way certain ideas return to you with greater clarity each time. These are not repetitions meant to delay you, they are confirmations meant to steady you. There is a rhythm developing here, and it is important that you feel it rather than analyze it. Rhythm guides movement without demanding control. When you move in rhythm, effort decreases and effectiveness increases. This is how alignment sustains itself. Stay with me. You may sense an inner quiet that was not there before, not silence, but spaciousness. A place within you, where pressure no longer accumulates. That space is intentional. It exists so that what is approaching has room to arrive without resistance. You are learning to hold expectation without tension. That balance is rare, and it is being cultivated deliberately. When expectation is calm, it sharpens awareness instead of draining it. You will need that awareness soon. There are moments ahead that will appear ordinary on the surface yet carry unusual significance. You will recognize them not by excitement, but by resonance. Something will settle into place internally, before it makes sense externally. Trust that order. Don't skip this, because understanding this sequence will help you avoid misinterpreting what comes next. Not everything meaningful announces itself immediately. Some developments reveal their importance only after you have lived with them for a while. You may feel an increased patience with complexity. Situations that once frustrated you now invite curiosity instead of reaction. This shift matters. It allows you to remain engaged without becoming entangled. There is also a strengthening of boundaries happening quietly, not walls but clarity. You are becoming more aware of what belongs within your energy and what does not. This discernment protects what is forming. You might find yourself saying less and observing more, listening more deeply, responding more intentionally. This is not withdrawal. It is mastery beginning to express itself. You need to hear what comes next, because soon the pace will change slightly. Not suddenly but noticeably. Opportunities will begin to require response rather than observation. When that happens, the steadiness you are cultivating now will determine how smoothly you move. You are not being rushed into readiness. You are being eased into it. Each moment of calm attention is reinforcing your capacity to carry what follows without strain. There may be moments where you question whether you are doing enough. Release that concern. This phase is not about output. It is about orientation. When orientation is correct, output aligns naturally. Notice how your sense of timing has improved. You wait without anxiety. You move without hesitation. This balance is not accidental. It is the result of alignment settling into your nervous system. There are threads connecting your past experiences to what is emerging now. You may not see the full pattern yet, but you will recognize pieces as they surface. What once felt disconnected is beginning to arrange itself into coherence. Pay attention to the order in which things appear. Sequence reveals intention. When events unfold in a precise order, it is because each one prepares you for the next. Stay with me. There is a subtle confidence growing that does not depend on outcomes. It exists regardless of what happens next. This confidence is grounded, not performative. It allows you to remain flexible without losing direction. You may notice that your questions are changing. Instead of asking whether something will happen, you ask how to respond when it does. That shift indicates readiness, moving from theory into practice. The unfolding is not finished. It is deliberately paced. Each layer reveals itself only when the previous one has settled. This prevents overwhelm and preserves clarity. You are not meant to carry the full picture yet. You are meant to carry the present moment with awareness. That is enough. There is more aligning beyond your current view. It is close enough to influence you, but not yet close enough to require action. This space between influence and action is where preparation completes itself. Remain attentive. Remain steady. Let the rhythm guide you. What is forming now is not asking for haste. It is asking for presence. And as long as you remain present, the next unfolding will meet you exactly where you are, continuing this movement without interruption.